I have been interacting with a lot of elders over the last 7 years. I've also been interacting with their children. A lot of them love what we do. They have a look at our facility, they love the services, they meet the residents, they understand how happy they are. Yet, we find that the decision to move into an elder care community is one that is sometimes not taken or delayed. When I further probed and tried to understand what was the reason that they didn't choose to move into a community, I came to know that there are certain assumptions about elder care, senior living, retirement communities. Let me start with the first and biggest myth. Senior living or old age homes are a place that are dreary, tearful, where children and parents don't get along, and it's for abandoned parents. The best way that I can answer your question is to request you to come and meet our beautiful and wonderful elders. You will realize that these are people who are very successful in their life, who are independent, and who enjoy a great relationship with their children. Further, if you have a look at our community, I'm sure a lot of youngsters would feel very jealous about the lifestyle that our elders are leading. It is like a 3 or 4-star resort with end-to-end care and convenience. Just about everything gets done with a push of a button. You don't need to depend on a maid, a servant, a cook, somebody coming from outside to ensure that your house is kept well. Further, our residents don't ever need to be worried about medical care or food. This is the first and biggest myth, is that children and elders who live in these communities don't get along. If you come on any weekend to our community, you will find children there, you will find grandchildren. You see that they have a much more healthy relationship because they have meaningful interaction when they are spending lesser time but more quality time together. The second myth we found is a lot of people say, no, this is too expensive for us. They charge like 20,000 rupees a month. We are able to live today at much lesser cost. The answer to that is very simple. We as Indians are somehow not very good in calculating indirect cost. We're very good in calculating direct cost. But the minute we start calculating our indirect cost, suppose we go for a movie, what are we paying? How much are we paying for fuel? How much is that maid asking when she takes a loan and doesn't pay it back? Or what happens to that broken geyser that doesn't get fixed? What about the repainting of the house? There are so many aspects that add to this indirect cost. Once we go deeply into that, we are going to realize that it's actually cheaper to live in a community than in an independent house. I'm happy to debate this. Our team is happy to show you how it is actually cheaper. Further, if you think about it, our housekeeper would clean about 4 to 5 houses as opposed to one maid cleaning one house. And as we all know, maids are not reliable, it's harder to get them, and they're getting much more expensive. So over a period of time, economies of scale are going to ensure that we give much cheaper service, much more consistent and better service at a competitive price. So this is the second myth what I have found, that elders reach out to me and it's something that stops them from making the purchase decision. The next one is around food. As you know, in India, within, for example, South India, we have 3 different types of sambar. I'm sure the chole made in Delhi is not the same as one made in Bombay. So food is something that is quite challenging. I'm proud to say that at Primus we have a greater than 90% subscription for our F&B service. This is because we learn to customize our services over a period of time, since we serve the same elder for life. More than that, our cuisine by nature consists of North and South Indian food. So everybody at any meal can find something that they love. And more than anything, what meal is enjoyable when had alone? Nobody likes that. But when you are in the company of friends, when you're in the company of a group of people, the meal becomes that much more enjoyable, and that is what we really provide. Another myth that I have come across very often is we have a lot of people in their 60s who come and say, oh, this is beautiful, but I'm not old enough yet. Let me give you a simple answer. Every person who has moved in and who is living with us, if you ask them what is your only regret about Primus, they will say, I regret not coming here earlier. The best time to move is when everything in your life is normal and happy. Because as we age, Our physical requirements change, our mental requirements change, our health requirements change. As we age further, one of the partners may or may not be there. One of the partners may require much more assistance. At that time, to take this decision is going to be harder on everybody in your family. So the best time to move is when everybody is happy and healthy. You will be able to contribute to the community, take the most from our community, and God forbid something goes wrong, we are always there for you to take care and ensure that you are not left high and dry or you are not left lonely. The last myth is a lot of elders are concerned that once they move away from their family, their existing house, their well-known neighbors, what happens in case of an emergency? What happens to them if something goes wrong? Well, the answer to that is very simple. In a community like ours, not only do we have a wireless emergency device, we know everything about your health the minute you live with us. If there's an emergency, there's a doctor right on campus, there are nurses, there's a physiotherapist, there's an ambulance right there. So medical help and medical emergencies are going to be attended to much faster than in a traditional house setting. Of course, security is going to be great. There's never going to be a threat of burglary or an elder living in a house alone in a lonely area. What happens in the night? Those kind of issues just don't exist. Further, your friends are your new neighbors now. So they know everything about you. Not only will our medical team come, your neighbors also will rush to your house. So that's the last thing that one needs to be worried about, is their safety and security.